Hello, hello and welcome. It's Ruth here at Artful Stampin. So welcome to the Stamping Sunday blog hop, and today's theme is shimmy and shake, shimmy and shake. So it's to make some kind of shaker card, and I've got the Beauty of the Deep stamp set here and thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a shaker card but also have the little fish shaking around and maybe the anchor as well. So what I'm going to start off by doing is create a bit of an interesting background using some water onto some plain white, basic white cardstock, and it's a super simple technique. Basically you just get some ink pads and you apply the ink to your block. I've got the block, I think it's the E. Have I got that right? Yes. Oh, I got that right. Block E. And I'm trying not to contaminate my inks there, so I'm just trying not to cover it over. And I'm just going to lay a rag down and spritz away onto my block. I love these little spritzers, they're so handy. And I'm just going to smack that down onto my cardstock like this. Give it a really good press down until all that lovely watery, inky blotchiness is all kind of like gone in. Oh, that just moved, never mind. Oops. And you know what, I think that's actually going to be enough. I was going to do more than that, but I think that's going to be enough. So I'm just going to dry this off using my heat tool and then come back and do some stamping with you. So while I was drying that one, I also stamped a background on a piece of cardstock that's just a little bit smaller than A5, kind of 14 roughly by 10 centimetres. And so now I have the little fish from that stamp set, and I've got Pretty Peacock. I nearly said Tahitian Tide there, that's an old colour. And I'm just going to stamp some of these gorgeous little fish. And I love this one's, actually I guess it's a fin, it's really quite dramatic, this fin. And I haven't got the dies for this set, so I'm just going to do some fussy cutting and get these all cut out. So there we go. So here I have my little fish all cut out there, and now I'm going to cut some circles into this piece of white cardstock that I've cut to fit just inside the watery one that I've done. And I want to create a little bit of a porthole look, so I'm going to run this through my cut and emboss machine, and I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies here, and I'm going to do it using both of them in one go so that I end up with a cut circle and a little white outline that I'm hoping to then be able to kind of like frame the window with. Okay, so here I have them cut out. It moved very slightly, but shh, don't tell anybody. It'll be fine. So there I have my little porthole for that, and then I have a little frame. Now what I'd like to do also is put some texture onto this piece of cardstock. So I have the timber embossing folder. Well, I did have it here a second ago. All right, here it is. So here's this, it's a 3D embossing folder. Excuse the mess it's in. I was experimenting, doing lots of techniques with this at a recent video and class. So it's got loads of ink on it, but anyway, it'll be fine. So I grabbed the grey granite ink pad. I've basically put ink, dabbed ink onto the side that has the Stampin' Up logo. So this side here. And I'm going to run that through my embossing folder. Sorry, cut and emboss machine. Let's have a look. Let's see what it's like. Ooh, look at all that lovely texture on there. Ooh, looks fabulous. Okay, so how am I going to turn this into a shaker card, I hear you ask? So going to be using some of the fabulous Stampin' Up sticky strips. They are already 3D. So I'm going to use some of that and stick it all together. So the other important ingredient you're going to need is a piece of transparent plastic, and you can get these from, you can recycle, upcycle from packaging, or you can buy the transparent sheets that Stampin' Up sell. And so I've cut this piece to 3 1/4 3¼ I think it was 3¼ by 3¼ because the circle die that I use is not the largest one from this set, it's the one down and then the one down again, so number 2 and number 3 if you want to number them from largest to smallest. And then to stick this then onto my card, I'm going to be using some tear and tape, although I'm trying to find my Stampin' Up one and it's gone walkies, so I'm just going to grab anything here and I'm going to stick this now to my card. So I'm just putting the tear and tape along here. Actually, I'm going to do, sorry, I'm having a think. I'm thinking, which bit do I have to make sure that it doesn't have a gap? And it's the piece between the transparent and the back card that I can't have gaps, otherwise all my little bits and pieces are going to fall through. So, but anyway, it's probably good practice just to make sure that this is all the way around so that your piece of transparent plastic doesn't move. So shaker cards have always kind of enchanted us, I think, since they were, I don't know how long ago they were created, but they've been around all the time I've been a paper card maker. There's something about them just, you know, when you first get it out the envelope and being able to shake it around. All right, so this is the great big long strips that Stampin' Up sell, and what's really great about them is that you can actually curve them around the space that you need to encapsulate for your shaker items. So I'm just curving that round. I don't know if I'm going to run out or not, but it doesn't matter if I do, because if I do run out, I can just grab another piece. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, that is, if I just move that around, I wonder if I can get it to meet. Just going to make it go a little bit closer to the edge, because I think if I get it a little bit closer, I'm actually going to have that meet where it needs to meet. Look at that. How cool is that? That's fantastic. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do is actually put some strip across the top and the sides, because I don't want my panel to cave in, once I've stuck it down. So I'm just removing, and look how easy it is to tear these. I'm not even using scissors. I'm just kind of like ripping it when I get to that point. There we go. I'll shove a piece in there. All right, so now I'm gonna put my little fishes in. So I need them to face this. So this is the bit that's going to be stuck to my card. So now, do I want to do it that way and stick that to that? But then I'm not going to be able to see my margins, am I? So I'm thinking this through for you so that you get this correct. So I think I'm going to put my fish onto this section here. And I want to put a few more little items. So I'm just going to do a bit of a raid of some embellishments and see what I have. Now, I am unfortunately going to be using some retired product, but if you're anything like me, if you're a bit of a magpie, you should have some of these left over if you purchased them last year, because they really last a long time, these little packages of sequins. These were called Sequins for Everything. I'm just grabbing out the blue ones there, and I think I might just add a few drops of the green, like so. Whoop. There we go. And then I'm going to start removing all my wee pieces here and then stick it all together. Now before I do that, I've just remembered I actually wanted to stamp some, oh no, let's move that down there. Stamp some images. Hold on, which side do I want to have showing? Yeah, no, I do want the bluey side. Move that back down that way. I did actually want some little bits of seaweed showing through. So I'm just going to stamp those like so. Let's have another little check of that. Excuse me. Do a few more. Right, pushing up everything into that space there. Make sure my fish are the right way round. And I'm gonna stick it. And I'm just making sure I've got a little bit of that border all the way around, like so. Right, I have stuck it down onto a card base of Pretty Peacock, and I love that little thin stripe border all the way around. And look, my little fishes and my little sequins are happily playing around in there. And I think this is such a fun card. So thank you so much for joining me, and do go and look in the description and click on the link to my blog post, where you will also find the links to all the other blog hoppers in this really fun challenge. If you want some more ideas for shaker cards, I am sure you will be mightily inspired by the amazing talented demonstrators out there. Right, lots of love. Thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye.